Hi Scorpio, it's Meg with Padmes, and I'm doing your mid-month reading, your mid-month energy check for May 2021. This is for anyone with Scorpio in important placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, any cross watchers that are wanting to know about Scorpio energy. And we are calling in our angels and guides of the highest vibrations of love and light, because I don't want to talk to anyone else. I'm also calling in Archangel Gabriel, asking for messages for Scorpio this month. What does Scorpio need to know for their divine right, most benevolent outcomes? And here we go, Scorpio. Let's see what's going on with your energy this month. Scorpio, the first thing that I'm noticing is the big picture. The big picture is talking about, this is Taurus, but this is the Hierophant. The big picture is talking about doing the right thing. It's talking about leveling up commitments. It's talking about connecting your higher self. Oh, I even want to say your authority consciousness. Your higher self, bringing your higher self and your spiritual self into your personality self and channeling that through your personality self into your physical environment. So this is like, how do I channel spirit through me? How do I channel spirit through me? That's the big picture. How do I do the right thing? How do I channel spirit through me? Wow, that's kind of a doozy of a month already, isn't it? So let's look at the heart of the situation. There's some kind of slow moving action to build this unconditional love. It's like building trust, has to do with making promises. And I hear that song, promises, promises. But this is about slow moving action to build trust in a family environment. This is also like complete emotional fulfillment. It's also, this heart of the situation is talking about being slow to bring unconditional love. Being slow with it. It's like you're really being cautious about it before you're making steps to unconditionally loving someone. Okay, Scorpio. Happening now and into the near future, it does look like there's some kind of chapter that concludes. There's a chapter that ends. There are no endings, there are only beginnings, right? We were never born. There's no death, we were never born. So this is some kind of graduation, some type of stepping through a threshold and coming to a new understanding about this leveling up of commitment, about giving your trust, giving your respect, giving your unconditional love, feeling safe to do that. And this is coming from a place of, we're going to clarify all of this, Scorpio, coming from a place of a decision having been made. So this is all coming out of a decision, and your higher self is talking about you feeling, I want to say butt ass broke, but like it could be having to do with finances, but this is in your mind. It feels like emotionally broke. This feels like emotions being drained out of you. Your higher self is talking about some kind of ending to betrayals. And I feel like a lot of this could be self-betrayal. Scorpio, times when you didn't listen to your intuition. But this is about going back and forth between two worlds, and your angels and guides are talking about this. Going back and forth between two worlds. This is juggling. And this is how emotionally disturbing juggling all of that is, or how it can be. This is also kind of like the dog and pony show. This guy's dancing. And this particular deck always looks like he's got a condom on his head. It looks like he's trying to protect his crown chakra. But protecting your crown chakra also is not letting any spirit come into the physical. So there's some kind of dog and pony show that you're doing. It almost is like a facade. So this feels like, both of these together feel like some kind of self-sabotage you're doing. We'll clarify all this too, Scorpio. But let's take a look at, this is like, release these wishes that have not come into fruition the way you've wanted them to. It's time to kind of like regather, re-strengthen. What am I trying to say? It's kind of like tweak. It's time to tweak these wishes. The wishes that you have, they might be unrealistic, but they might be unrealistic with their self-sabotage going on here. You might create wishes that are not coming in the way you want them to. First, because you have other people's energy in your space, but second, because you're not allowing them to come in, or you're not allowing something to happen. You're not looking at them in a way where they could best serve you. We'll look into that. Here's your resistance, and it's like, I have resistance to not having partnership. It's almost like I have to have partnership. I have resistance to not having partnership. Yet I'm in some kind of cycle where I've let myself down by juggling. But here's this happening now and into the near future of moving through a threshold and doing something differently. This is about leveling up your, I even want to say psychic awareness, but really it's like your truth. It's your higher self truth coming into your personality self. So there's some kind of shift that's happening here, Scorpio, a big shift away from self-sabotage. Your advice is talking about getting really clear with your intentions, but then acting out those clear intentions. It's putting action to those clear intentions, knowing what you want, and then strategizing very clearly, doing what it takes to bring those intentions into fruition in your physical. This is also communication, clear communication, clearing up any untruths, whether you told them, whether someone else told them, untruths coming to the surface, but it's because this is your advice. You're doing that. You're seeing things for what they are. You're seeing you for what it is that you want. You're seeing your truth. Seeing your truth, walking through that threshold, seeing your truth in another way and acting on it in a different way, a clear way. In the past, it looks like there's been a lot of upset, a lot of grief, a lot of upset, a lot of guilt and shame over mistakes made or decisions made that didn't work out in your favor or the way that you wanted them to. I feel like that has to do with some of these wishes that are not coming into fruition. But release this. You can change this. It's like, release the idea that you're not going to have your wishes met. You can. There has to be some tweaking involved for some reason. Happening now, this is present time energy. We've got this justice card, karmic justice happening to right family dynamics and group dynamics. So there's some kind of karmic justice that is occurring to right legacy, to right family dynamics, time, energy, effort, love, money, stability, education, information, like anything that is a commodity. Karmic justice is coming into play and writing that. And here is this trajectory or this outcome. Here's the second king we have in your reading. It's the King of Cups reversed. So this king is basically can throw some tantrums if they don't get their way. And this can be masculine energy. This is masculine energy, but I mean, this can be a man or a woman. This basically is like the action behind not having your needs met. The actions, what does that look like when your needs aren't met? Do you throw tantrums? Do you get frustrated? Do you get depressed? Do you go within and internalize? Like, This could be someone else acting out because they're not getting the healing that they need, or this could be you, Scorpio, feeling sad and depressed and upset in the future. But let's take a look. Let's clarify. Let's clarify these, Scorpio, and see what's going on. I first want to clarify the Hierophant. What is going on here? That is Taurus energy. We've got Libra energy. What is going on with the Hierophant energy here for you, Scorpio? And here is the gentleman kind of flipping around, trying to figure out, do I want to be over here with the Hierophant? What do I want to do here? I always feel like he's trying to like, hey, how you doing? What's going on? He seems like a kind of a schmoozy kind of person. Not necessarily in a bad way. Sometimes this is a charismatic person that's coming in and it's very romantic. But there's some kind of schmooziness that I'm feeling right now. You cannot trick the Hierophant. You cannot act like you want your higher self to come through your personality self, but not really do what it takes to make that happen. I mean, that is definitely self-sabotage. So this is totally about coming correct. All right, this is totally about having a come to Jesus meeting with yourself. Or, Scorpio, the person that you're dealing with. But there's definitely a huge shift here happening. And this is healing. This is a healing that is taking place. I say this all too often, but healing doesn't always feel good. A lot of times that big crack in the crown, that big crack in the chrysalis to let the light in doesn't feel so hot. So something's going on there. Let's take a look at this World card happening now and into the near future. It has something to do with you going somewhere, leaving, going on a trip, someone else going on a trip, someone else leaving. There's space between home and where you are going or where someone else has been. So this is also travel. This can be foreign travel as well, especially with this World card. But it's getting out of Dodge. It's getting away from something. It's getting space happening now and into the near future. Let's take a look at this heart of the situation, Scorpio. Knight of Pentacles, moving slowly, but trying to get into some unconditional love, complete emotional satisfaction. What's going on here? Moving slowly with it. Wow, yeah, but this is home. This is finding home. This is feeling home. This is feeling the stability and the groundedness of home. And this is the cards you've been dealt in life, what you've been offered. What is your luck factor in life? This is the kind of luck that you don't create. This is the kind of luck that, like, what do you have? What are you I'm hearing what are you projecting that you have? But this is also what are you grateful for that you have? What's your lot in life even? Let's take a look at these wishes that haven't been granted or haven't come into fruition just yet. The idea of releasing that that's not going to happen, it's going to happen. And these have to do with your wishes for you. It's like romancing. It's like the heart wants what it wants. And you're going to have to come to terms with what the heart wants. It almost is even like you want to have some wishes met that you're supposed to wish this stuff. You're supposed to want this stuff, but the heart wants what it wants. And this is coming to terms with, what do you want? You might think that you want this. You might think that you're supposed to want this particular thing, but there's something that you want that maybe isn't so popular that you have to come to terms with. I want this, even though other people might judge it. Other people don't think that this is what I'm supposed to want. let's look at this. You know what? I was just about to say disagreement. So that's interesting. There's some kind of disagreement. So being resistant to not being partnered, but also being resistant to some disagreement that's happened. And I feel like that disagreement has to do with self-sabotage. It could have been to protect yourself. And there's a lot of healing that needs to happen there, a lot of grounding that needs to happen there, a lot of healing. There's definitely still some challenge going on there. And, you know, I also feel like, I mean, here's the 7 of Cups, the 7 of Hearts here. This is like, there's some fantasy involved with this disagreement. It's almost like it was made up. That could be the self-sabotage too. It's like creating conflict where there really wasn't any. Maybe to self-protect. But your advice is talking about getting really clear with that type of thing. Getting really clear with what was made up and what wasn't made up. It's like it's like truth, real talk. It's about truth, but being truthful and honest with yourself about what the heart wants and what you are self-sabotaging about. Why were you trying to protect yourself? What's up with this unconditional love that you're moving so slowly toward? What are you really trying to protect? What's going on there? I want to ask about this King of Swords and getting clear and what your next steps are. Yeah, this has a lot to do with like what you believe and what other people think about you, what you believe and what other people think that you should be doing. You got to get really clear with what's important to you versus what's important to other people, or what other people are thinking about you or what you're doing, how important that is to you. Is it important? Is it important enough not to get your wishes? Maybe it is. Maybe that's the self-sabotage, but all right. I want to ask about this decision that was made, and I want to ask about this self-sabotage stuff, or this being in two worlds and coming up from being out of deception of some kind. I feel like this is mind deception, lies. Wow, Scorpio, I just want to say, I feel like this is like lies you tell yourself, or like past programs that just aren't true anymore, and like living in the past and living in the future. And what was this? There was a decision made, there was some kind of crossroads, some kind of I even want to say Plymouth. Here's 22. Here's soulmates. Here's also the Queen of Pentacles. She is all about self-trust. There's some kind of, I want to say rite of passage. This isn't a rite of passage. Well, yeah, I guess it is. I usually see this as a rite of passage with another combination, but this is a decision that was made in the past where you had two ways you could go, and you chose one. So let's look at this 10 of Swords, please. This 10 of Swords. I mean, this has to do with self-protection. This has to do with protection, trying to heal yourself through protection. I almost feel like you were seeing things that, it's like you were projecting out into the future how things were going to go, and you were seeing the worst. And this is you trying to balance feeling safe and feeling fear. This is also balancing finances, balancing resources, juggling two different things, two different worlds. But it's like, this is about juggling feeling safe and feeling fear. And I feel like this decision was made based on that juggling. And then in this past, it's like there was some upset about that decision that was made. There was some grief around it. Let's see, Scorpio. Let's get some clarification around that. Yep, heart grief. Excuse me, Scorpio. Heart grief. There was some kind of sadness that happened. And here's that King of Cups up here. And here's that King of Cups reversed in the trajectory. So let's take a look at that. There's, whether this is you or the person that you're dealing with, Scorpio, there was a decision that was made, and it was a heart decision, an emotional decision, a relationship decision, something having to do with the heart, brought a lot of grief. But then now we've got some kind of karmic justice and some kind of family dynamics being righted. I want to know about that. There's some kind of, so I'm clarifying the 10 of Pentacles, and there was some kind of family dynamics that were deteriorating. There was something that needed some conviction in order to hold stable, hold steady, but there's a challenge in that. And there's something, here's a master card, here's a master number, 11, and we have this King of Wands that's coming in too. There's some kind of, I even want to say sexual tension, which is odd because I am not really even talking about that, but there's some kind of karmic justice that happened. And this does feel, this can be a sexual card. This can also be arguments, but there's some kind of karmic justice. I mean, there's even, I don't know if you can hear this, but there's a siren outside. So there's some kind of alert going on because of this deterioration. Oh yeah, and this just popped out, and this is the duel. This is an argument. There's some kind of argument that happened. But here's karmic justice coming in, securing the pentacles, securing the family dynamics. And there's some kind of duel, argument, even sexual tension around this deterioration of, I want to say conviction, I want to say values, I want to say promises made or vows, maybe even. The key card is coming out. I feel like for some reason this has to do with the home, the key to the home. Putting the effort into the home, this is another 33. Here's another master number. These are like really big decisions that were made. And there's, this sadness for this heart sadness in the past, these big decisions after this argument or arguments, recurring arguments would be that birch rod. But then here's this King of Cups who is upset, who's not fulfilled. His heart's not fulfilled. He's upset. Let's clarify that a little bit, Scorpio. Yeah, there's some kind of image shattering here. And this is the Four of Wands. This has to do with perhaps the heart, perhaps romance, perhaps, I mean, this would be like the 1111 card, but this is some kind of image shattered when there was this thought of celebration, of a foundation, of moving forward. This also, this looks like this is the trajectory. This has to do with some kind of, like, Scorpio, maybe you're seeing someone else, like they dropped their mask and you see them. The image has shattered because you thought a situation was one way, but it was a different way altogether. I want to ask a little bit more about that. Oh, I'm being called to this one. All right. What about that? I keep hearing real talk. You might even have this communication with someone. There's some kind of real talk happening about someone's facade. Someone's facade being shattered. Someone wanting to look a certain way to someone, but it changing. Yeah. someone lets down their guard. This is in the trajectory in the future. Someone's letting the guard down. And it's very well perhaps to talk about this, I'm feeling. It's to talk about this shattered image, or it's to talk about, I almost hear somebody saying, I didn't know it was going to be like this. I didn't know it was going to be like this. Two cards want to come out. Wow. Talking about unplugging from a situation and wanting to heal it. Wanting to heal the heartbreak that was caused when this unplugging of a situation happened. Letting the guard down, talking about this. This facade of some kind. Okay, Scorpio, let's see. What I want to do is, this looks like there is some romantic energy in this reading for you mid-month here. So let's ask the Romance Oracle and Archangel Gabriel what kind of messages your angels and guides want to give you around romance, calling in your soulmate. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you two together. There is a lot of healing that's happening here. There's a lot of healing that's going on this month. There's a really big shift in getting clear. Give your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership. There's a lot of energy around masculine energy. I mean, this Hierophant is also masculine energy, but really channeling healing energy in a different way. One more here. And this could be the one. You've already met the romantic partner that you seek. Let's also do a yes or no question, Scorpio. We're asking the Angel Oracle and Archangel Gabriel to give us a yes or no. So ask your question while I'm shuffling here, and we'll get a yes or no and some clarification. Communicate clearly. I feel like, excuse me, Scorpio, I feel like this is a yes. And also, there's a lot of talk about that. Your advice has been talking about communicating clearly, communicating through, like sifting through other people's energy in your space, or sifting through other people's opinions and getting to your clarity, your truth. This is reevaluating. I mean, this could be getting other people's opinions, but then ultimately coming to terms with your own truth and your own clarity, your own opinion. But communicate clearly. Let's get one more. Oh, there we go. And we've got a no. That's clear. I love it when I ask Archangel Gabriel to give me a yes or a no. And he tends to like seriously give us a yes or a no when that happens. So there you have it, Scorpio. Thank you. I hope this helped and resonated. Let me know in the comments below, like and subscribe, and I will see you soon.